What's good, YouTube? This is your boy, the Jiggy Prince. Get jiggy, yeah! So today, as you can tell from the title, yes, I cut my own hair. For y'all that did not know that, I cut my own hair all the time. I've been doing it for like a little over a year now. My dad taught me, and then I watched YouTube videos, did it myself, and now I'm gonna teach y'all how to do it. So yeah, it's not that hard. Like once you start and you get the hang of it and you get the process of it, it gets easier and easier. You get better and better. Practice makes perfect. That has to do with anything in life. All you gotta do is practice and try. That's it. I was scared at first, but now I'm fire. You feel me? All right, so I'm gonna show y'all how I do it and everything. Let's get to it. So I'm gonna show y'all the basic tools you need, man. All you need is a T-liner blade. You feel me? This is the sharp one. This is where you can make the lineups and you know your guidelines from when you fade in and stuff like that. You feel me? It's easy. This is like $62, $65 at the beauty supply store. This is where I bought it from. I don't know if they have it at Walmart, but I know they usually have it at the beauty supply stores. And then here you go, just the regular clippers right here that you can put your guards on so that you can actually fade your hair and, you know, cut down in the hair. It doesn't cut as deep, you feel me? Like it won't bald you. But right here, this will bald you. If you put this on your head, bro, you're going bald. Don't put this on your head. This is only for lineups and guidelines. That's it. And this right here, you cut down the Caesar cut, you feel me? Get you a little clean Caesar cut with that. But also, you can use this to put some guards on here and you can fade, you feel me? And the guards you need to fade is the #1 guard for your low haircuts, your low cuts, you feel me? This is how you get to the lowest. This is the lowest right here. The #1 is the lowest, you feel me? And then here's the #2 for it gets a little thicker, you feel me? Being able to cut the little thicker hairstyles. And then number 3, you feel me? The number 3, this is where you cut the thicker hair, like the thickest out of hairs, you know what I'm saying? There's more guards, but right now, for my hairstyle, I only need those 3. You feel me? And most people would need only just 3. I already put my hair in a ponytail. Make sure you put your hair in a ponytail if you have a lot of hair so you can see everything. You have nothing blocking you. You won't cut in no extra hair. Even though you won't because you have guards, but still just be, you know, extra precautious, you know, with it. And also make sure you have a mirror. You need a mirror to get those clean edges. Get everything, get the back, the side, the front, the corner, all that good stuff. You need 2 mirrors, one right here and one right here. But it's best preferably to have those 1 mirrors where they come out, where they break in. So it's like one that come out here, one that come out, and one in the middle. That's way easier for you when you cutting your hair. But I don't have that right now. So the best you can do is when you don't have that is have 2 mirrors. You can still do that. Make sure you have a comb, you have a brush so that you can brush your hair and get those clean fades. And you gotta always continue to brush every time you cut so everything looks clean. Brush off the extra hair so you don't make mistakes, stuff like that. Have a comb if you have a lot of hair. You feel me? Comb this is what I use for my beard. You feel me? Sometimes I use a smaller comb, but you can use this too. All right, so let's get started. Make sure you have your T-liner blade. You feel me? To get your guidelines. Make sure you have the Andes Cool Care Plus for clipper blades. It's for a coolant, you know, disinfectant, lubricant, cleaner, rust prevention, etc. Make sure you get that on your blades, you feel me? Make sure it's cleaned up and everything so you can use it. So you're gonna start from the beginning. The haircut I have, as you know from the title, I have a low drop fade, you feel me? So you're gonna, who coming in the bathroom? Hold on. All right, so with my haircut, I like to have the bottom part like balded and then faded in from right there. So you can really bald it however like high or low wherever you wanted to. But for me, I like it like right above my ear. And then I just make like a little circle going all the way to the back. But yeah, that's how I do it. I like the ends bald. Also, make sure you're paying attention to where you're cutting. Do not just cut without seeing what you're doing. But if you become like, you know, a professional like me, you can do that just a little bit where you don't have to look all the way. You could just feel it. But make sure you're always looking at what you're doing before you do it. And make sure everything looks clean and even. Okay, so this is how it looks once I've done my guidelines. You know, I cut all around and got my the bottom part balded, and you know, This is where I'm gonna start the fade from right here. This is how it's supposed to look once you've done it. Yo, every time you're doing a lineup or you cut your guidelines, make sure you slap that alcohol on your skin. You're gonna regret it after. If you do not do this, you're gonna have mad bumps. Sometimes you might have a little bit depending on what part and how sensitive that part of your skin really is. But it won't be as bad if you have the alcohol. It won't be infected or anything. You'll be good. Just make sure you put the alcohol on there, then you'll be alright. Now let's get into the fade. You feel me? Get your standard clippers and let's get that number 3 guard. Let's start with the thickest hair first at the top of the fade. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you cut down the top of the hair so that, you know, everything could be even. Get the top parts that you don't want to be thick, you know. You got to cut it down so the fade could look good. That top part of your hair is mad thick. Get it down. All right, when you cutting down the thick part of your hair, make sure you're watching it, you know. Not even just that thick part, all parts. Every time you cut down somewhere, keep watching it so you see how low you want it to be. When it comes to having a haircut, it's all about preference. If you want this part to be thicker than that, you want this to look darker than that, you do it. And keep checking on it every time you're doing it, you feel me? However low or high you want your fade to be, you just cut it the way you want it to be. You feel what I'm saying? Mine's, I like it like right on my temple. You feel me? When it comes down to the back, you know, it's a little lower. But yeah, you'll see when it's done. Also, every time you cut your hair, make sure you wipe down the clippers so that the excess hair doesn't get stuck. You feel me? Once you have excess hair on there, it's going to be harder for the clippers to cut. So make sure you're always wiping it. Either brush it down or get like a little napkin and wipe it off. But now we're on part 2. This is when you're using the second number 2 guard. This is when you get a little lower than the thicker part of the hair. And you're starting to get the fade in a little more now. And when you're doing this, try not to get too high because this is the second level of the fade. So try not to get on that top part where it's thick, because if you cut that part down, it's all going to look the same and it's not going to look faded. So just get to the part where the hair is a little lighter now and you're getting closer to your guidelines. Another thing you need to know about cutting your hair is you need to know how your hair grows. If your hair grows down like mine on certain parts, you cut up to cut more hair. And if you don't want to cut as much hair, you cut down if it grows down. But your hair grows differently on different parts of your head. So you just have to pay attention to that and know what you're doing so that you can make everything look even and clean. So every time you cut, you watch, okay, this cuts more like that, then let me go like this way so I don't have to go as deep. Also, make sure you're patient with yourself and your hair. You know, sometimes if you have to go back and forth on certain parts of the fade, just go ahead and do that, you know, because you're not going to be perfect the first time you're doing it. You would have to keep going and make sure you're cutting it right and it looks good. You know, you gotta make sure you have that patience and that precision, so you don't mess your hair up. You feel me? Okay, so now we're on the number 1 guard. This is the smallest guard now. We're getting closer to the end of the fade. Make sure you comb up a little bit if you have a lot of hair. Oh, since I have a tapered hairline, I use the number 1 guard for that, you know, just to cut it down. That's what you would like to do because that's the lowest and the best way it looks when you cut it down with the number 1 guard. Now, this is when you're on your guidelines. You're on the lowest part of your fade right here. This is when you're going to start seeing the magic truly happen with the haircut and, you know, fading process. Make sure you go down first because down usually cuts the least hair. Well, for me, it does. And I know usually most people it does. So make sure you're cutting down first at that bottom part and get every part, go down multiple times on each part. Go all around your head and make sure it looks even. So the fade is complete. No, I'm not done yet, so don't talk crazy in the comments. Now it's time to do your lineup. Now here's the next important part, the lineup. You know what I'm saying? This is where you gotta pay attention, you feel me? This is where if you mess up, you're gonna be bald at that part of your hair. You're gonna line yourself up and make sure everything looks good, you feel me? Pay attention to how your hairline shows up. Pay attention to how you want everything to look. Because if you mess up, it's over with. It's over with. Right now, to get the super lowest part of the guidelines, you're gonna take all the guards off of the clippers, the standard clippers, and like cut up a little bit where your guidelines are at the end of the fade, literally right at the bottom of the fade. You're gonna cut up to make sure it's clean. It doesn't cut it bald, but it cuts like the lowest so that you know you can get that end part where it can blend in from your hair to the baldness.
because I use my hair, I like it to be bald at the ends, like I told y'all. Now everybody likes it. Some people just like it where it's just a number one cut and it's cut all around, but I like mine to be bald. So yeah, you're gonna. Know about y'all, but I'll look at stuff and just feel like it's not perfect. So I'm definitely going back to my hair. Even after I did the lineup, I'm going back and making sure some parts of the fade looks crispy the best I could. I'm not a barber. I repeat, I'm not a barber. This is the homemade version of how you cut your hair. So don't feel like you about to come out with a Sir Cruz cut, because you ain't Sir Cruz and it's your first time and you don't got the clippers. I ain't spending $2,000 or whatever clippers they got. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is the best way to do it homemade. You feel me? If you feel like you don't want to spend your money all the time and you want to feel crafty, you want to be independent, this is how it's going to look. You feel me? At the end, I'm going to show you how it's going to look. As you can see now, I'm lining up my mustache and my beard and stuff. This part is really all preference. It's however you want it to look. If you want this to be cut this way, this angle, this shape, you cut it. Make sure you're using the T-liner to do this, you feel me? And if you feel like you gotta cut down some of your hair, use the standard blade without the guards to cut it down, so at a good, shape. Now, make sure when you done, put that alcohol on your face, bro. Smack it everywhere. Your beard, your mustache, your hair, everywhere. All the parts you cut at, make sure you put that alcohol in there. And when you go outside and you scrape your knee and you come home, what your mom put in your cut? Alcohol. What you just did to yourself. You cut yourself. What you gotta put on there? Alcohol. Stop playing. This is the finishing product. You know what I'm saying, bro? The fade looks clean. Yes, I did this all myself. Yes, sir. Skate. The
haircut I got is called low drop fade. It's like low dropped, you feel me? It's faded all around. Because really a regular fade would be like just the top of my head. But it comes down, so it's called a low drop fade. So that's the finishing product. That's all, folks.